I was sitting at my own Thanksgiving table, surrounded by family, when my son Tyler suddenly snapped at me in front of everyone. "Shut up, Mom. Nobody cares what you think." His wife Amber smirked. The whole table went silent. I felt my face burning with humiliation. I stood up slowly, set down my napkin, and walked out without a word. In my car, hands shaking on the steering wheel, I made a decision. I pulled out my phone and started making calls that would change everything. The drive home felt like it took forever. I kept replaying that moment over and over. The way Tyler's voice cut through the dinner conversation. The way everyone just stared at their plates afterward. The way nobody followed me out. I had been supporting Tyler for 12 years. 12 years since his business failed, and he came to me, desperate, asking for help. I co-signed his mortgage. I helped with his kids' expenses. I even paid for Amber's cosmetic procedures because Tyler said it would help her self-esteem after the babies. After my husband Harold died 8 years ago, I gave up everything. Harold and I had dreamed of traveling together in retirement. We had planned trips to Portugal, Spain, Italy. All those brochures still sat in his study. But when Tyler needed help, I postponed everything. Year after year, I told myself next year would be different. Next year, Tyler would be back on his feet. Next year, I could finally live my own life. I pulled into my driveway and sat there for a moment. My house felt too big, too empty. I walked into Harold's study and sank into his leather chair. The room still smelled faintly of his cologne, even after all these years. I started going through the paperwork I kept in the filing cabinet. Bank statements, mortgage documents, investment accounts. The numbers blurred together at first, but then they started to make sense in a way that made my stomach turn. I had been paying 70% of Tyler's monthly mortgage for a house worth $450,000. For 12 years. I calculated quickly in my head. That was nearly $200,000, not counting all the other expenses. My phone buzzed on the desk. A text message notification. I glanced at it, and my heart stopped. It was a group chat, a family group chat, but I wasn't supposed to be in it. Amber must have accidentally included me when she added someone else. I scrolled up, reading messages from the past few weeks. My hands started shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. Tyler's message from last Tuesday. Just keep her happy until we get the house fully paid off. Then we can move her into that cheap facility on Riverside. Amber's response. She's so pathetic. Did you see her trying to tell that story tonight? Nobody wants to hear about her boring life. Tyler again. I know. She's desperate for attention. At least she's useful for now. Then my daughter Denise chimed in. Mom's getting senile anyway. She probably won't even notice when we make the transition. Tyler replied, You're right. This will be easy. I read every message. There were dozens of them. Mocking me, planning around me, treating me like an inconvenient obstacle to their inheritance. I sat in that chair for 2 hours, not moving, barely breathing. The sun set outside the window. The study grew dark. I didn't turn on the lights. Finally, I opened my laptop. My hands were steady now. I knew exactly what I needed to do. First call, the mortgage company. I was the primary signer on Tyler's mortgage. He was only secondary. I told them I was canceling all automatic payments, effective immediately. The representative asked if I was sure. I said yes. Second call, my bank. I removed Tyler from every joint account we shared, every single one. Then I transferred funds from our shared savings into my personal account. Third call, my financial advisor. I had investments that were jointly held with Tyler, set up years ago, when I thought I was helping secure his future. I liquidated them. All of them. Fourth call. A travel agency. I booked a one-way ticket to Lisbon, Portugal. The flight left tomorrow morning at 9. When I finished, I had withdrawn or redirected $230,000. Money that was mine. Money Harold had left me. Money I had earned. I packed one suitcase. I left a note on the kitchen counter. I heard everything. You're on your own now. I went to bed and turned off my phone. But just as I was falling asleep, something nagged at me. I got up and checked my laptop one more time. I logged into the joint credit card account, the one Tyler probably didn't think I looked at. My blood went cold. There were charges for elder care facility consultations, for senior living research services, for meetings with elder law attorneys, for medical equipment companies that specialized in memory care assessment tools. They weren't just planning to move me into a facility. They were researching how to declare me incompetent, how to take control of everything. I closed the laptop and went back to bed. But I didn't sleep. The airplane cabin felt surreal. I sat by the window, watching America disappear beneath the clouds. I had actually done it. I had left. At the airport lounge in New York during my layover, I finally turned on my phone. It exploded with notifications. 37 missed calls, 63 text messages, voicemails that kept coming in even as I watched. I opened the texts from Tyler first. "Mom, what did you do? The mortgage payment bounced. This isn't funny. Call me back right now. Mom, I'm serious. The bank called me. What the hell is going on? You're going to lose us our house. Our kids will be homeless because of you. I'm calling the police. You can't just steal money that's not yours." They got worse from there. More desperate, more angry, more threatening. Amber's messages were shorter but vicious. "You selfish witch. After everything we've done for you, you'll regret this." My daughter Denise. "Mom, Tyler told me what you did. Have you lost your mind? Call me immediately. This is serious." Then messages from my younger son, Craig, who lived in Seattle. "Mom, what's going on?" Tyler called me. "He says you've had some kind of breakdown. Please call me." I responded only to Craig. I sent him screenshots of the group chat messages, the real ones, showing what they had said about me. I waited. He didn't respond. The flight to Lisbon was long. I tried to sleep but couldn't. When we finally landed, I felt both exhausted and strangely alive. I checked into a small hotel in the Alfama district, one of Lisbon's oldest neighborhoods. The room was tiny but charming, with blue tile work and a balcony overlooking narrow cobblestone streets. Harold would have loved it. I walked through those streets for hours. The air smelled like salt and pastries. I could hear fado music drifting from open windows. For the first time in years, I felt like myself. But my phone kept buzzing in my pocket. When I finally looked, my heart sank. Tyler had posted on social media. Not a rant, nothing that would make him look bad. Instead, he had crafted a careful message that made me look like the problem, asking for prayers during a difficult family time. My mother has made some concerning financial decisions recently, and we're all very worried about her well-being. If you've spoken with her, please let us know. We just want to make sure she's safe. Thank you for your support. The comments were already flooding in. Neighbors, church friends, people I had known for decades. Oh no, sending prayers. Is she okay? Has she been evaluated? My mother did something similar before her Alzheimer's diagnosis. Please get her checked out. Tyler was replying to comments. We're exploring all options to keep her safe. Thank you for your concern. I felt sick. Then my best friend Patricia called. We had been friends for 30 years. If anyone would believe me, it would be her. Freda, honey, she said, and I could hear the worry in her voice. Tyler called me. He's worried sick. He says you've emptied bank accounts and disappeared. What's going on? Are you okay? Patricia, listen, I started. Tyler has been planning to put me in a home and take everything. I saw the messages. They were all in on it. There was a pause. Sweetheart, Tyler showed me some texts you sent him. They seemed confused, rambling. Are you sure you're feeling okay? What texts? I didn't send him any rambling texts. Honey, he showed me, you were talking about conspiracies and persecution. It worried all of us. My chest tightened. Patricia, I never sent those messages. He's lying. Another pause. Longer this time. Freda, sometimes when we're under stress, we don't realize we're not thinking clearly. Maybe you should come home and let us help you. She didn't believe me. My best friend of 30 years thought I was losing my mind. I tried to explain about the group chat, about their plans, but I could hear the doubt in her voice. She thought Tyler was the concerned son, and I was the confused elderly mother. After we hung up, I sat on my hotel bed and cried. Then I got an email. It was from an attorney I didn't know. The subject line read, Emergency Conservatorship Petition. My hands shook as I opened it. Tyler had filed for emergency conservatorship. He was claiming I was a danger to myself. The email outlined his case. Erratic financial behavior, sudden international travel, paranoid accusations against family members, concerning text messages that indicated confusion. The hearing was scheduled in 5 days. If I didn't return to contest it, I would lose control of everything. My bank accounts, my house, the $300,000 from Harold's life insurance that I hadn't touched, saving it for real emergencies. Tyler would control it all. I looked around my tiny hotel room in Lisbon. I looked at the balcony with its view of the neighborhood Harold and I had dreamed of seeing together. Then I looked at the email again. I had to go back. The return journey was a nightmare of exhaustion and anxiety. 2 days of airports and airplane cabins, running on no sleep, my mind spinning with worst-case scenarios. When I finally landed back home, I didn't even go to a hotel first. I drove straight to my house. I needed some clothes, some documents, some proof of what Tyler had done. But when I pulled into my driveway, I knew immediately something was wrong. I tried my key in the front door. It didn't work. They had changed the locks. On my house. I knocked, then pounded on the door. Through the window I could see movement inside. Tyler appeared, and I noticed he was holding his phone, recording. He opened the door but stood in the doorway, blocking me from entering. "Mom," he said, his voice dripping with false concern. "We were so worried. You disappeared. You took our money. We had to secure the house for the children's safety." "This is my house, Tyler. Let me in." "Mom, please calm down. You're scaring the kids." Amber appeared behind him, holding their baby. The baby wasn't crying, wasn't scared, but Amber made a show of looking frightened. "Freda, please. You're not yourself." I could see neighbors looking out their windows. Mrs. Chen from next door was openly staring. "I'm calling the police," I said, pulling out my phone. "We already did," Tyler replied calmly. Within minutes, 2 police officers arrived. Tyler met them at the end of the driveway, still recording everything on his phone. I could hear him explaining. His elderly mother, concerning behavior, financial confusion, disappeared to Europe, now becoming aggressive. The officers approached me carefully, like I was the threat. "Ma'am, we need you to calm down. This is my house. He changed my locks. Ma'am, are you on any medications? No, I don't take medications. I'm perfectly healthy. Tyler produced a pill bottle from his pocket. It had my name on the label, some kind of anxiety medication I had never seen in my life. She's supposed to take these daily, Tyler told the officers. We found her stash. She's been skipping them for weeks. That's when the paranoia started. Those aren't mine. The officers exchanged glances. One of them suggested gently that I might want to come with them to the hospital just to get checked out. I don't need a hospital. I need a lawyer. But it was Saturday evening. My lawyer wasn't answering. I left an urgent message with his service. Tyler presented the court documents to the police. The emergency conservatorship hearing scheduled for Monday morning. The officers looked them over. Ma'am, maybe it would be best if you stayed somewhere else for the weekend. Let everyone calm down. I had no choice. I went to a hotel. A cheap one, because I didn't know how long I would need to make my money last. I tried calling Craig again. He finally answered. Mom. His voice was cold in a way I had never heard before. I saw the texts you sent to Tyler, the rambling ones about persecution and conspiracies. Patricia told me you called her saying paranoid things about the family plotting against you. Craig, those texts are fake. Tyler fabricated them. Mom, Tyler showed me the phone records. They came from your number, from your phone. He must have hacked my phone or cloned it or something. Please, you have to believe me. Mom, stop. Just stop. This is exactly what Tyler said you'd do. Blame everyone else. Make up elaborate stories. Mom, I love you, but you need help. Craig, please. I'm flying in for the hearing on Monday to support Tyler, to do what's best for you. He hung up. Both my children now believed I was losing my mind. I spent Sunday in a fog. I had to find evidence, proof, something to show I was telling the truth. I went to the library and printed out the screenshots of the real group chat messages. But when I looked at them, I realized how easy it would be for Tyler to claim I had fabricated them. He could say I manipulated the images, that I was so paranoid I created false evidence. Sunday evening, I finally met with a court-appointed attorney at an emergency session. She was young, overworked, and skeptical. She reviewed Tyler's case. Her expression grew more concerned with each page. Mrs. Freda, I have to be honest with you. This doesn't look good. She showed me what Tyler's lawyer had assembled, medical affidavits from my doctor. I hadn't even seen my doctor in 8 months, except for a routine checkup. But somehow there were notes saying I had exhibited signs of confusion at my last visit, that I had seemed disoriented about dates, and became agitated when discussing family matters. I remembered that appointment. I had been slightly confused about what day of the week it was because I had been up late the night before. And yes, I had been frustrated when I mentioned Tyler's constant requests for money. But the doctor had twisted it, made it sound like cognitive impairment. There's more, the attorney said. Tyler has also filed a civil lawsuit. He's claiming you stole funds from joint accounts that were specifically designated for your grandchildren's education fund. That's a lie. There was no education fund. He has deposit records showing he put money into the account every month, labeled grandchildren education. My mind raced. Small amounts. He deposited small amounts so he could claim that later, but I put in thousands. It was never an education fund. The attorney looked at me with something like pity. Mrs. Freda, if the conservatorship goes through, Tyler will be appointed as your conservator. That means he'll control the lawsuit and any settlement. Essentially, he'll take everything legally. I felt the room spinning. There's one more thing, the attorney said quietly. Someone has filed a report with Adult Protective Services. They're claiming you're being financially exploited by unnamed parties and that you're making reckless decisions that put you at risk. APS has opened an investigation. If they determine you're at risk of harm, they have the authority to place you in protective custody immediately, even before the conservatorship hearing. Who filed the report? It's anonymous. But I knew. Tyler was covering all his bases. No matter which way I turned, he had a trap waiting. Monday morning arrived too fast. I put on my best dress, the navy blue one Harold had always liked. I wanted to look competent, put together, sane. The courthouse was cold and sterile. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. I sat with my court-appointed attorney at one table. Across the aisle, Tyler sat with Amber and a lawyer in an expensive suit. Craig arrived, and my heart lifted for just a moment. But he walked past me without a word and sat behind Tyler. Then Denise came in. I had been hoping, praying she might help me, but she sat on Tyler's side too. My own children, united against me. The judge entered, and we all stood. She was a woman in her 50s, with reading glasses and a stern expression. Tyler's lawyer went first. He was smooth, professional, sympathetic. He painted a picture of a beloved mother who had begun showing concerning signs over the past year: forgetfulness, paranoia, erratic decisions. He presented the text messages Tyler had faked as evidence of my confusion. He showed the bank withdrawal of $230,000 in a single day. He emphasized that I had immediately left the country. He suggested this was not the behavior of someone thinking clearly. My attorney objected, tried to present my side. She showed the screenshots of the real group chat, but Tyler's lawyer was ready. Your Honor, these screenshots cannot be authenticated. We have the actual phone records from the service provider. No such conversation occurred on that date. What we have here is a clear example of my opposing counsel's client creating false evidence to support her paranoid delusions. I whispered urgently to my attorney. He deleted them. They had to have deleted the messages from the server. She tried to argue this, but the judge looked skeptical. Then Tyler's lawyer called witnesses. First was a neighbor, Mr. Rodriguez, who lived 3 doors down. He testified that I had seemed withdrawn and confused when he saw me at the mailbox last month, that I had asked him what day it was. I remembered that conversation. I had been jet-lagged from a day trip to visit a friend. It had been an innocent question, but in his testimony, it sounded like dementia. Next was the bank teller from the day I withdrew my money. She testified that I had seemed agitated and confused, that I had trouble remembering my account numbers, that they had to verify my identity twice. Yes, I had been nervous and upset. My hands had been shaking. I had fumbled with my wallet. But I hadn't been confused. I had been devastated by my family's betrayal. Then Denise was called to the stand. I watched her walk to the witness box. She wouldn't look at me. She was sworn in. Tyler's lawyer began his questions. Miss Denise, can you describe your mother's behavior over the past year? Denise's voice shook. My mother has become increasingly paranoid. She started accusing me and Tyler of things that never happened. She called me 2 months ago at 3 a.m, rambling about family betrayal. I was so worried. I almost stood up. That phone call never happened. She was lying under oath. Can you give other examples? Last spring, we had lunch together, just the 2 of us. She couldn't remember my daughter's name, her own granddaughter. She kept calling her Emma when her name is Sophie. It was heartbreaking. Another complete lie. I had never forgotten Sophie's name. Never. What do you think needs to happen? Denise started crying, real tears streaming down her face. I love my mother so much, but she needs help, professional help. I'm terrified she's going to hurt herself. Please, we just want her to be safe. The judge was watching Denise with sympathy. My attorney cross-examined, but Denise stuck to her story. She was convincing because she seemed genuinely emotional. She had practiced this. During a short recess, I confronted my attorney. She's lying. Everything she said is a lie. I believe you, my attorney said. But we need proof, and right now, we don't have it. When the hearing resumed, Tyler's lawyer called his final witness, a geriatric psychiatrist named Dr. Morrison. Dr. Morrison had never met me, never examined me, but he testified as an expert about elderly financial abuse awareness and how older adults often make rash decisions when experiencing loss of control. He cited statistics about early dementia warning signs. He talked about paranoid thinking patterns. He said that based on the documented evidence and the consistent family testimony, he believed conservatorship was appropriate and necessary for Mrs. Freda's protection. My attorney tried to object, to point out that he had never examined me, but the judge allowed his testimony. Then it was my turn to testify. I took the stand. My attorney walked me through what really happened. I described Thanksgiving dinner, the group chat, the betrayal, how I had reacted by protecting my assets. But when Tyler's lawyer cross-examined me, everything I said sounded paranoid. Mrs. Freda, you withdrew $230,000 in a single day, correct? Yes, but it was my money, and they were planning to. Just yes or no, please. You withdrew that money in one day? Yes. And you immediately left the country? Yes, because I needed to. Yes or no? You left the country immediately? Yes. And these messages you claim to have seen, where are they now? They were deleted. Tyler deleted them. So you can't produce them? They were on my old phone. I can. Can you produce them right now? No, but... So, you're asking this court to believe that your entire family, your 2 adult children, are conspiring against you? When he said it like that, I heard how it sounded. They're not conspiring, they're just. Tyler manipulated them, and your daughter testified under oath that you've been confused and paranoid. Your younger son flew across the country because he's worried about you. Your best friend of 30 years told investigators she's concerned. Are they all wrong? Are they all lying? Or is it possible that you're the one who's not seeing things clearly? I tried to explain, but I could see the judge's expression. She thought I was paranoid. The hearing ended. The judge said she needed time to review the evidence. Tyler approached me in the hallway afterward. When no one was close enough to hear, he leaned in. His face was completely different from the concerned son act he had put on in the courtroom. You should have just kept quiet, Mom, he whispered. Now you're going to lose everything, and there's nothing you can do about it. The judge returned from her chambers 30 minutes later. 30 minutes that felt like 30 hours. We all filed back into the courtroom. I could barely breathe. The judge looked at me, and I knew. Based on the evidence presented, she began, I am granting temporary emergency conservatorship to Tyler Johnson for a period of 90 days. The words hit me like a physical blow. Mrs. Freda will undergo a complete psychological evaluation during this time. All bank accounts and financial assets will be frozen pending review of the conservatorship arrangement. Tyler Johnson will have oversight of all financial decisions. Mrs. Freda may remain in her residence, but will require supervision for major life decisions. She looked at me. Mrs. Freda, this is not a punishment. This is for your protection. The court will review the situation again in 90 days. The gavel came down. I sat there, unable to move. I had lost. Tyler and Amber left quickly, avoiding eye contact. Denise rushed out, still crying. Craig approached me. "Mom," he said gently, "this is for the best. You'll get help now. We all just want you to be okay." I looked at my youngest son. He genuinely believed he was doing the right thing. "Craig," I whispered, "I'm not crazy. I'm not confused. They lied." He squeezed my shoulder. "Mom, please. The more you fight this, the worse you look. Just let us help you." My attorney walked me out. "We can appeal," she said. "But it will take time. Weeks, maybe months. In the meantime, the conservatorship stands." I drove home in a daze. When I pulled into my driveway, I saw Tyler's car pulling away. Inside, I immediately knew he had been there. Harold's study was empty. The photos of Harold and me on our wedding day, gone. His books, gone. The model ship he had built over months, gone. A note sat on the empty desk. "Removing items that might cause you confusion or distress. These will be stored safely for you, Tyler." He was erasing Harold from my life, erasing my past, making me question my own memories. I sank to the floor in that empty study and sobbed. The next 2 days were a blur. I tried to call old friends, but word had spread. People were kind but distant. They all thought I was sick. Patricia finally answered on the 3rd try. "Freda, honey, I heard about the hearing. Are you okay?" "No, Patricia, I'm not okay. Nobody believes me." "Sweetheart, maybe you should stop fighting this. Maybe you do need some help." Even she had turned against me. I stopped eating, stopped sleeping. On the 3rd night, around 2 in the morning, my chest started hurting. Sharp pains radiating down my left arm. I sat on my bedroom floor, wondering if I should call for help. Part of me didn't want to. Part of me thought maybe this was better, but the pain got worse. Finally, I called 911. The ambulance came. The neighbors' lights came on. More gossip for the street. At the hospital, the doctors ran tests. "Not a heart attack," they said. "A severe anxiety attack combined with dangerously high blood pressure." They wanted to keep me overnight for observation. Tyler was my emergency contact now. He arrived within an hour, Amber with him. They put on their show for the nurses, concerned children, loving family. I heard Tyler talking to the doctors in the hallway. "She's been under a lot of stress. We're working on getting her proper care. She might need psychiatric evaluation while she's here." They put me in a room, gave me medication to help me sleep. I was too exhausted to fight anymore. When I woke up the next morning, a young nurse was checking my vitals. Her name tag said Emma. "Good morning," she said with a genuine smile. "How are you feeling?" "Tired," I admitted. She was kind as she checked the monitors, asking gentle questions. She mentioned she was working double shifts to save money. "What are you saving for?" I asked, grateful for any normal human conversation. "My wedding," she said, her face lighting up. "My fiancé and I are getting married next spring. He works in IT security, so we're both just saving every penny we can." It's security. Something clicked in my mind. Does he know about phone hacking? The question came out before I could stop it. About fabricating messages and digital evidence? Emma looked confused. Yeah. Actually, that's exactly what he does. Digital forensics. He works for a firm that investigates cyber fraud. I took a risk. I had nothing left to lose. "Can I tell you something? And will you just listen?" Emma hesitated, then nodded. I told her everything. The Thanksgiving dinner, the group chat, The messages I had seen, Tyler's plan, the fake texts he had created, the conservatorship, all of it. When I finished, Emma was quiet for a long moment. My fiancé always says people don't realize how easy it is to fake digital evidence, she finally said. He works cases where people create false text histories all the time. It's actually not that hard if you know what you're doing. Would he be willing to look at my case? To see if he can prove Tyler faked those messages? Emma bit her lip. I could lose my job if anyone found out I was helping you with something like this. I understand. I shouldn't have asked. But Emma came back that evening during her break. She had someone with her. This is Marcus, she said quietly. My fiancé. I told him about your situation. Marcus was cautious, professional. I'm willing to look at what you have, but I need to see the actual devices. Phone records aren't enough. I need the physical phone where you saw those original messages. My heart sank. Tyler has my current phone. He took it for safekeeping. What about before? Did you have another phone? I thought hard. Yes, my old phone. I upgraded about 3 months ago. The group chat I saw was 2 months ago, so it would have been on that phone. If those messages were never deleted from the device itself, I might be able to recover them even if they were deleted from the server, Marcus said. The phone is at my house, in my bedroom dresser drawer. Emma looked at her watch. Visiting hours end in 20 minutes. Your son and his wife left a few hours ago. I saw them leave. Will you help me get out of here? Emma wrestled with the decision. Finally, she nodded. I'll help you sign out AMA against medical advice, but after that, I can't be involved anymore. 20 minutes later, Emma was driving me to my house. It was 11 o'clock at night. The streets were quiet. We parked in my driveway. The house was dark. I used my garage door opener, and we slipped in through the garage entrance. I led Emma upstairs to my bedroom, turned on just the small lamp on my nightstand. I opened the dresser drawer where I kept old electronics. The phone was there. I grabbed it, my hands shaking. Then I heard it, a key in the front door. Emma and I froze. Tyler's voice carried up the stairs. I'm telling you, some of this jewelry is worth thousands. Amber's voice. Once the permanent conservatorship goes through, all of this is basically ours. We just need to be patient for 90 more days. Tyler. 90 days. Then she'll be in Shady Pines, and this house goes on the market. Mom made this so easy. All those years of guilt-tripping me about being family, and she handed us everything. They were in my house, in my bedroom hallway, coming toward my room. Emma and I dove into the closet, pulling the door mostly shut. Through the crack, I watched Tyler and Amber enter my bedroom. They went straight to my jewelry box on the dresser. Tyler started pulling out pieces. My wedding ring set that I kept there. Harold's watch. A pearl necklace from my mother. This watch alone is probably worth $5,000, Tyler said. Amber laughed. Your mom really thought we cared about her. This is the easiest money we've ever made. Then Tyler's phone rang. He answered. His face changed. What? When? He listened. She did what? He turned to Amber. Mom checked herself out of the hospital AMA against medical advice. The hospital just called to inform me. Where would she go? I don't know, but we need to find her. If she's running around unsupervised, we can use that in court. They hurried out of the room, down the stairs. I heard the front door slam, car engine starting. They were gone. Emma and I waited 5 full minutes before emerging from the closet. My hands clutched the old phone. The battery was completely dead. I don't have the charger for this anymore, I said. It's an old model. Marcus has universal chargers, Emma said, for his forensics work. Come on. We ran to her car. and drove to Marcus's apartment. It was past midnight when we arrived at Marcus's apartment. He was still awake, working on his laptop. Emma must have texted him because he had equipment set up and ready. "Let me see the phone," he said. I handed him my old phone. He connected it to a universal charger, then to his laptop with various cables and adapters. Emma and I sat in his small kitchen. She made tea neither of us drank. We just sat there, exhausted and anxious, while Marcus worked. An hour passed, then another. The sun would be up soon. Finally, Marcus emerged from his office, the old phone in one hand, his laptop in the other. "I found them," he said. I stood up so fast, I knocked over my teacup. "The messages?" I whispered. "Everything. The original group chat. All of it. It was deleted from the server, but it was still in the device cache." He turned his laptop screen toward me. There they were. Every single message. Tyler and Amber and Denise discussing me like I was an asset to be liquidated, planning the conservatorship, mocking me, strategizing how to take everything. Marcus had photographed everything, created time-stamped documentation. "There's more," he said. "Your son had spyware installed on this phone. That's how he was able to create the fake texts from your number. He had access to your accounts, your messages, everything. I've documented all of it." He printed out a formal digital forensics report. Pages and pages of technical proof. "I need to call my attorney," I said. It was 5 a.m. I called anyway, got his answering service, left an urgent message. Emma had to leave for her morning shift at the hospital. She hugged me before she left. "Good luck," she whispered. I sat in Marcus's living room, waiting for my attorney to call back. Marcus made coffee. We didn't talk much. My attorney finally called at 8:30. I told him about the evidence. "Come to my office immediately," he said. "This changes everything." But then his voice changed. "Freda, there's something else. Tyler filed an emergency motion last night. He's claiming you left the hospital against medical advice, that you're a danger to yourself. He's asking for an immediate psychiatric hold and expedited permanent conservatorship." The judge granted an emergency hearing. "It's scheduled for tomorrow morning at 9. If we lose tomorrow, you could be institutionalized by tomorrow afternoon." The walls felt like they were closing in. Less than 24 hours. I met my attorney at his office. He reviewed Marcus's evidence, his forensics report. For the first time, he looked hopeful. "This is solid," he said. "This proves fraud, perjury, conspiracy. But we need more. We need one of them to flip." "Denise," I said. "She's the weak link. She felt guilty in court. I could see it." "Her testimony was the most damaging," my attorney agreed. "If she recants, if she admits she lied, Tyler's whole case collapses. How do we reach her?" I thought about Denise's husband, Wayne. He was a good man, quiet, kind. He had always been uncomfortable with conflict. "Wayne," I said. "Denise's husband. He might not know the full truth." Using Emma's phone, which Tyler wasn't tracking, I called Wayne at his work. He answered cautiously. "Freda?" "Wayne, I need to talk to you. Just you, please. Just coffee." He was silent for a long moment. "I don't know if that's a good idea. Please, 30 minutes. That's all I ask." He finally agreed to meet me after work at a coffee shop downtown. I spent the rest of the day preparing with my attorney, reviewing testimony, planning strategy, trying not to think about what would happen if we lost. 5 o'clock came. I waited at the coffee shop, watching the door. Wayne walked in at 5:15. He looked tired, older than I remembered. He sat across from me, ordered coffee he didn't drink. "Wayne, I need you to see something." I showed him everything. The original group chat messages from Marcus's recovery, the forensics report, the proof of the spyware. Wayne read in silence. His face went pale. Denise told me this was all to help you, he finally said, that you were sick and confused, that this was the kindest thing to do. Wayne, what does Tyler get if this conservatorship goes through? He looked down. He promised us $60,000 from the house sale to help with our daughter's college tuition. $60,000. That's what my daughter's testimony cost. Wayne, I'm not sick. I'm not confused. But if this goes through tomorrow, I'll lose everything. My home, my freedom, everything Harold and I worked for. And Tyler will have it all. Wayne's hands were shaking. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know it was like this. Denise said you were struggling, that you needed help. She lied in court, Wayne, under oath. She made up stories about me forgetting things, calling her at night. None of it was true. He put his head in his hands. We sat there for a long time. What do you need me to do? He finally asked. I need Denise to tell the truth. Tomorrow, in court. She's scared. Tyler told her if she backs out now, he'll make her look like she abandoned her sick mother, that everyone will hate her. Wayne, if she doesn't tell the truth, I'm going to be institutionalized. Is that what you want? He shook his head. I'll talk to her. Tonight. I'll make her understand. He left. I didn't know if he would follow through. I spent the evening with my attorney, going over every possible scenario, preparing for the hearing. At midnight, my attorney's phone rang. It was Wayne. Denise will meet with you tomorrow morning, Wayne said. Before the hearing. 7 o'clock at your office. She'll tell the truth. My attorney and I looked at each other. We had a chance. But at 12:30 in the morning, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. It was Tyler. I know what you're planning, Mom. His voice was cold, threatening. Wayne called Denise. She told me everything. You found some old messages? Nobody's going to believe they're real. Marcus isn't a certified forensic expert. His evidence won't be admissible in court. And if you bring Denise into this, I'll make sure everyone knows she's been secretly meeting with you, trying to help you. That'll just prove you've been manipulating her. Just like we said. You're going to lose tomorrow. And when you do, I'm putting you in Shady Pines by the end of the week. You'll rot there. You should have just kept your mouth shut at Thanksgiving. He hung up. I looked at my attorney. He looked worried. He's right about the technical admissibility issues, he admitted. Marcus's evidence might not be enough on its own. We need Denise. What if she doesn't show? Then we're in trouble. I didn't sleep that night. 7 o'clock in the morning. My attorney's office. I sat in the conference room, hands wrapped around a cup of coffee I couldn't drink. Wayne and Denise walked in at 7:15. Denise looked like she hadn't slept either. Her eyes were red. My attorney explained what needed to happen. Denise needed to recant her testimony. Admit she lied. Tell the truth about Tyler's plan and the money he promised them. I'll lose everything, Denise whispered. Everyone will hate me. I'll be charged with perjury. You'll be charged with perjury anyway if the truth comes out later, my attorney said. But if you come forward now, voluntarily, we can work with the district attorney, show that you were coerced, manipulated by Tyler. You might avoid charges entirely. Wayne took Denise's hand. We have to do the right thing. Denise looked at me. Really looked at me for the first time in months. I'm sorry, Mom, she said, tears streaming down her face. I was desperate. Tyler said it would be easy, that you'd be taken care of, that you wouldn't even know the difference. I needed the money for Sophie's college. I convinced myself I was helping you. "Will you tell the truth today?" I asked. She nodded. We drove to the courthouse in separate cars. My attorney didn't want anyone to know Denise was cooperating. The courtroom was the same as before. Tyler and Amber sat with their lawyer, looking confident. Craig was there again, sitting behind them. The judge entered. We stood. Tyler's attorney started immediately. He moved to fast-track the permanent conservatorship based on my continued erratic behavior and medical emergency. My attorney stood. "Your Honor, we have new evidence." He presented Marcus's forensic report. Tyler's attorney immediately objected. "Your Honor, this so-called expert isn't certified by the state. This evidence is inadmissible." The judge looked skeptical, but my attorney said, "Your Honor, we've also subpoenaed records from the phone service provider for the dates in question. They arrived by courier this morning." He presented official phone company records. They showed the group chat existed, that it was deleted from the server, that Tyler's phone initiated the deletion. Tyler's face went white. Then my attorney said, "Your Honor, we'd like to call Denise Thompson to the stand." Tyler's head whipped around. He stared at Denise. She wouldn't look at him. Denise took the stand. She was sworn in again. My attorney began gently. "Miss Thompson, you testified at the last hearing. Do you stand by that testimony?" Denise's voice was barely audible. "No." "Can you speak up, please?" "No, I don't stand by it. I lied." The courtroom erupted. The judge called for order. "Why did you lie?" And Denise told everything. The money Tyler promised her, the plan they made, how Tyler convinced her I was old anyway, that I wouldn't miss the money, how she fabricated the stories about my confusion, how none of it was true. She pulled out her phone and showed her own text messages with Tyler, planning the testimony, discussing what she would say. Tyler's attorney tried to discredit her, to suggest she was lying now to help me, but Denise had evidence, screenshots, emails, text messages going back months. My attorney called Emma next. She testified about my clarity and coherence when we spoke, about how I had methodically organized the evidence gathering, how I had been rational and logical throughout. Then he presented my hospital records. The doctor's notes showed my mental status exam was completely normal. The anxiety attack was situational, not indicative of cognitive impairment. Finally, I took the stand again. This time, I was calm, clear, detailed. I explained the 12 years of supporting Tyler, the Thanksgiving dinner, the group chat I accidentally saw, how I protected my assets when I discovered their plan. I explained that, yes, I had been upset and shaky at the bank. Yes, I had left the country, but these were rational responses to discovering my family's betrayal, not signs of incompetence. Tyler's attorney cross-examined me, but he had no ground to stand on anymore. Every attack he made, I calmly refuted with facts and evidence. The judge called a recess. 30 minutes that felt like hours. When she returned, her expression was stern. "I've reviewed all the evidence presented today," she began. "It's clear to this court that fraud has been perpetrated. The original petition for conservatorship was based on false testimony and fabricated evidence." She looked directly at Tyler. "Mr. Johnson, your conduct has been reprehensible. The temporary conservatorship is hereby terminated immediately. All of Mrs. Freda's assets and accounts are to be returned to her control within 24 hours. Tyler's face crumbled. "Furthermore, I am referring this matter to the district attorney for investigation of perjury, fraud, and elder abuse. You may also face civil penalties." She turned to her clerk. "Please prepare orders restoring full control of all assets to Mrs. Freda and removing Mr. Johnson from any authority over her affairs." The gavel came down. Outside the courthouse, Tyler and Amber rushed away without a word. Their lawyer looked furious. Craig approached me slowly. His eyes were red. "Mom," he said, "I'm so sorry. I should have believed you. I should have listened." I hugged my youngest son. "You're here now. That's what matters." Denise came over, crying. "Mom, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I was selfish and wrong." I looked at my daughter. Part of me was still angry, still hurt, but I could see she was genuinely remorseful. "We'll talk," I said quietly, "but not today. Today I need some space." Wayne took Denise home. My attorney walked me to my car. "What happens now?" I asked. "The district attorney will likely press charges against Tyler. Denise might face charges too, but given her cooperation, probably not. You can also file civil suits for the emotional distress, the legal fees, everything." Over the next few weeks, I watched Tyler's life fall apart. The mortgage foreclosure went through. He couldn't afford the house without my help. Amber filed for divorce, took the kids, and moved in with her parents. Tyler lost his job after the fraud case became public knowledge. Denise and Wayne were in marriage counseling. She called me once a week, apologizing. I answered sometimes. It would take time to rebuild that relationship, if we ever could. Patricia called me, crying, apologizing for doubting me. We had lunch. It was awkward, but healing. Craig moved back from Seattle. He wanted to be closer to me. We had dinner together every week. 3 months later, I stood in my house, my home. Harold's study was filled again with his things. I had brought everything back from wherever Tyler had hidden it. I had redecorated, added photos from my trip to Lisbon. I was planning another trip, this time to Barcelona. Emma and Marcus came to visit. They had become real friends. Marcus was helping me set up a nonprofit foundation to help elderly people facing financial abuse. He volunteered his forensic services for free. Tyler sent letters, apologizing, begging for forgiveness, asking for money to help him get back on his feet. I never responded. Some relationships couldn't be repaired. Some betrayals went too deep, but I was free. For the first time in 12 years, I was truly free. I had learned something important through all of this. Silence, in the face of disrespect, isn't peace, it's surrender. Financial generosity without boundaries isn't love, it's enabling. I learned that people will test how much you'll tolerate. They'll push until you push back. I learned that even at 67 years old, you can fight back. You can win. I learned that your voice matters. Your boundaries matter. Your dignity matters. And I learned the difference between being kind and being a doormat, between helping someone and letting them destroy you. Most importantly, I learned it's never too late to choose yourself. My phone rang. The travel agent. My flight to Barcelona was confirmed for next month. A month after that, maybe Prague, then maybe Greece. I looked at Harold's photo on my desk, the one from our honeymoon. We were so young, so full of dreams. "We're finally going on our adventure," I whispered to his smiling face. I walked out my front door with my head held high. I wasn't the woman who sat silent at that Thanksgiving table anymore. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't ashamed. I was free, on my own terms, ready for whatever came next. And nobody, not even my own children, would ever make me feel small again. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had to stand up to family members who took advantage of your kindness? Have you ever had to choose between keeping the peace and protecting yourself? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might help someone else who's going through something similar. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button. It helps others find these stories when they need them most. And if you haven't already, subscribe to hear more stories about real people facing real challenges and finding the strength to overcome them. Share this with someone who needs to hear that it's never too late to stand up for yourself. Sometimes the people who need to hear these stories most are the ones suffering in silence, thinking they're alone. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it reminded you that you're stronger than you think, braver than you believe, and worthy of respect no matter your age. Take care of yourselves, set those boundaries, and never let anyone make you feel like your voice doesn't matter. Until next time, remember that standing up for yourself isn't selfish, it's survival.